Alright, so we're here spraying a third coat of Black Widow. You keep spraying, I'm talking to the video. Anyhow, that's Bog talking. So listen, we're spraying a third coat of Black Widow. I'm doing the mill gauge. We've got the one side done with the third coat. Bog's going on the other side right now. And some things we want to point out is weather temperature, the hull temperature, and also the temperature of the paint. All right, so the temperature of the paint, we had laid it in the sun for some time. We're at 78 degrees. That's what we're trying to bin around. It's about 78 to 80 degrees on the actual temperature of the paint. We've been mixing that in the sun for about an hour, just trying to get a 78 to 80 degree temperature on this substrate. And then what we've done on the hull is at about a 76 degree temperature, and we're actually at about a 78 outside. So we have 76 on this side, and the other side is about a 74. That's on this third coat. So you'll get some of the readings that we've had on the second and first coats, and then we can keep track of all that and use it as information. That's the compressor going off. So one thing that I noticed this time that I wanted to point out is when I was mixing the paint, it has this milky look to it on the top. I think that's the silicone that's in this, or some sort of the slickener, and you just can't get it to go away. If you're using a paint mixer, a shaker, a paint shaker, maybe you can, but we're using a drill motor with a stir on it, and I just can't get it to go away. You can sit on it for a half hour, and it maybe looks like it goes away, but it kind of goes under the lid and it's still there. So that's the point I wanted to make, is you see the milky slickener in the paint. I don't think you need to worry about it. The paint gets nice and creamy. It has a nice flow to it. We've been going about 5% on 121 thinner. That's what you see here. And we're noticing that each coat that we do is getting to be a little bit more orange peel. So that's that's not really out of the norm. So it's the norm for paints as you spray them with these type guns, and that's what we're used to. So there's a little bit more orange peel. So initially I thought, okay, 400 grit would be what we're going to wet sand with. I'm going to probably back that off, and we're probably going to start out with a 320. So that's the things we got going. We've been just mill gauging as we're going. Kind of the least we've seen, on the non-overlap areas is about a 2. All right. The greatest we've seen is about a 4, and those are at the overlap areas. Really hard to control. Not a lot you can do there. So we'll talk to the paint manufacturer and see what they say about that. We're just going to give them the information and tell them what we're doing real world. Okay. So minimum we're seeing is 2, maximum we're seeing is 4s. That's it. We're trying to hang in the 3s. We've got a couple, 3s that are majority of what's going on, but highs and lows I'm trying to give you so you get a feel for what we're seeing. Once again, what we're telling you about in this video is not what you should do. It's kind of what we're doing, and you kind of do your thing and talk to your paint rep and how you want to do it with the Black Widow, but we're kind of doing our thing here, trying to follow the directions from the guys Tim and Brian as much as we can. So we're just going to give them feedback on watch this video and see what they think. So I'm going to take the video over to the other side, and you can see what's going on there. Once again, the third coat's done here, and you can see the shininess of it. That'll start flattening out. And this is the difference of the second coat to the third coat, and you can see where the overlaps are, and where the dry spots and the heavy spots are. I'm going to try and sit down on the ground, and it's kind of not very level here, so just bear with me. So I'm going to go over and mill this so you can see. So that's a heavy 2, so that's good. I like that. I mean, you're starting to zone in now, right? Once you get going.
No, the thing is, if you let the gun sit for 2 minutes, everything drains down. It has to be pre-mixed. Once you get to the burst spot, unless you get a mix in there.
Right. Yeah, so what Bog is saying is we're trying to keep shaking the paint also in the pressure pot. So you heard him saying that, if we're not stirring that paint, he thinks that's leading to some of our 2-4, kind of some of the issues of having the highs and lows. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're shaking your can. You know, you'll see him doing it. I've noticed he was doing it earlier, so you're going to try and keep that paint mixed up. And what he's saying also is as the level gets down and it gets more concentrated, the paint starts spraying a little bit better, just more consistent, okay? So that's it. I'll let you watch what's going on and you can see what we're doing. Almost to 3. Whew, man, blowing me out over here.
That's a 2. The last one was a 2. Huh? The last one was a 2. What do you want? 3.5?
No, you're good. I like the 2s to 3s. The
You
4.
want 3? I'll give you 3.
Well, keep trying for 3, but I don't mind 2s.
I don't know. I'll adjust.
I mean, we're trying for the 3. You know, you're
Yeah. Let's do a 3.
but I like to see it.
3 it is.
No 4s. With this warmer weather, we're probably fine, but because there's not a lot of history with the product, you just got to try and stay in there.
That's a 2. Here's the light spot. Yeah, light spot's not a 2. I think you're right. I think you guys just got to keep shaking it, you know? Stirring it up.
So you got something in the tip, man. That was perfect. I think that's going to be right on.
What?
That's going to be right on.
Huh?
That's going to be me.
Dead now. That's a 3. As soon as it just turns shiny, that's a 3.
So what we've been finding is that, like, as soon as you start seeing just tads of light spots, that's a 2. When you get where it just turns shiny with our setup, you know, with the 78 to 80 degree paint, with the pressures that we're spraying at, we got about 25 to 27 at the tip on this thing with the air. But with our setup, when it just turns shiny, that's when you're getting about 3 mils. So, you know, try it and see if it works for you guys or whatever, but for us, when we're just turning shiny, it's 3 mils. When we're seeing light spots, just, you know, a couple light spots, it's 2s. And, you know, anything over, what I've been telling Bog is that anything around 4s, I don't like. I'd rather not see that for the paint company. I'd rather err on the drier side. I may find out that we've done it wrong, but we're going to approach it from that direction and see what the guys say, okay? So I'll let you watch a little bit more, and as you can see, we're almost to the end. I've already sprayed the struts and the rudders and the trim pads. So he's just going to do the hull, and we're not going to do the stern today. Because I just want to end up with 3 coats back there. So that's it.
It's waiting. I think I'm done.
You're done. You don't have to do anything else.
Huh?
You don't have to do anything else. Yeah, you got everything. Right?
That's a 3.
That's a 3. That's a 3. All right, so the other thing I wanted to point out is you got to remember these gauges are just a guide. Okay, so you know what happens is on the curvature of the hull or the concave or the convexness of the hull, you're going to get a little bit different readings over this wide of a span. So, you know, what I tell my boys and what I tell the reps is that these things are just guides. So the 2 to the 4, if we're staying in that range, I think we're going to hear that we're fine with this paint. Okay, I've heard we're fine with other type paints. You know, you can see I got a competitor to Black Widow's mill gauge. Maybe it's the wrong mill gauge, I don't know, but this is the only one I had, and that's what we're using. So you know, you just got to keep in mind these are just tools, and you know, the paint hardness of what you're putting it on can affect how deep the penetration is for the edges, which you measure off of. So you know, you got to use some common sense in this and use the tools and go with what you know. So no matter what you're doing with this paint, which is an incredible paint, by the way, just, you know, use your common sense. I wouldn't spray in cold temperatures. You know, the least we saw, I think, on the hull temperatures, if I remember back to the first coat, I think it was 63 to 66, somewhere in there. So, you know, as there becomes more history with this product, we're going to find out what the low temperatures of the substrate should be. But I can just tell you that what you want to do is, you know, just listen to your reps, go with what they know. I can tell you that we like this setup, the air setup, better than the idea of shooting with an airless. The airless, to me, just when the pumps go down to the low side, you know, when they're just ready to kick in, I think the pressures are just too wide of a range. I never measured what that tolerance is on the pump of an airless. I don't know if it's 5 psi, 10 psi, but that tolerance is a big shaper in the amount of product that's going on. So there you go. We're going to shut you down. We're going to show the 4th coat, the 5th coat, and then I don't know what we're going to do with this video, what it's going to look like. We're probably going to try and condense it to see, you know, just to get things down to it's where we're not totally bored with everything. That's it. We're going to shut you down, and we'll see you on another day.